Oh wow, he's actually talking pretty normally now.
ただな兄貴、大悟出てから無理しすぎだぜ。
It's exposition, but it's light exposition, and that's most certainly better than the alternative. Also, it's nice to be jumping into this at episode 13 with the dynamic between these two still feeling very much fresh from where I left it off at episode 12. I'll be honest, for me the song is just not as good as the first OP. Having said that, the visuals are stunning, ranging from battles to then peaceful moments between our two heroes and then back again. Must admit, I'll definitely miss the original OP song though. Considering this was a couple of still image panning shots with a rain effect over the top, it looked amazing. Another unique monster da! All jokes aside though, I can't show it, but the statue cut his damn face off! Glad to be back here at episode 13 and see that the violence throttle hasn't been eased off of.
あ、それとここ、野党のねじるかもしれないから気をつけてくれよ。でも殺しちゃダメだ。とっちめるだけだぜ。
Yep, I still very much like her character a lot. Poor old Dororo. I get the feeling that this episode is going to target her a lot in terms of her difficult history, having lost her parents or specifically her mother here.
よ、好きに呼んだらええ。
Sexy ass Lady Chan it is then. I pretty much made the same comment on the Sims version too. Well, that's quite the wild story. Almost like something from JoJo. Okay, I'll stop with the JoJo references. Or maybe I won't! Ta-da!
待ってろ、兄貴。
They made Dororo be forced to use a stick to support herself as the drug wears off.
兄貴は絶対渡さねえぞ。
Dororo risking her life against this demon loony to save our main boy! Yup, that's awesome. A bunch of faceless people in the water. It's that kind of grim nature I missed because you rarely see it in most anime.
どうして顔が変わらぬ。お前、母の顔を知らぬのか。
I like that revelation when it's noticed by other characters, even dumb ones like him/her when they think they fool someone in a situation like this.
無理だ。私にはもう。
That Dororo's little speech about not being a douchebag actually helped. This action sequence of statue killing badassery. Also one more win for continuing the trend of not having every demon be an actual physical monster, but just like the demon sword before it, this statue is of course an object as well.
優しい子だ。ドロロは。
A bittersweet ending really. I'm glad this lady wasn't all bad in the end. It was a nice twist. On top of that, Dororo got a moment, kind of like with her mother again, perhaps in her mind another chance to say goodbye as it were. Also take one more for the gradual decay of her body as the talk went on. I liked that.
嘘なんだ。ついなんていうか。
行くぞ。
These two now having somewhat full-on conversations.
だったらさっさとくたばるのも悪くないね。
坊さん、どっから湧いて出てきた？
It's the priest back again. He pulled a weird I'm a bad guy and I'm gonna get you type prank. The old weirdo. Well now, colour me intrigued. The ED is most definitely way more up my alley, even upon the first watch, than the new OP. It's got an awesome sounding song and the visuals are just wild. It's like how I imagine LSD would look or something. I like that a lot. Time to add it onto my YouTube playlist and leave a comment on the video. Oh my god, All Might is back!
残りの半分は。
Ooh, plot twist!
食うや食わずの身の上でそれでも志を貫けるのなんて。
That old dude being a real boss and teaching them to share like a real old man boss.
ま、お前さんがどうしてもなくした体と引き換えに第五の国を滅ぼしたいってんなら。
I had wondered if this moral question would be coming into play, and I'm so elated that it is. I posed the query back in the Everything Wrong With Part 1 about whether or not he could simply continue living as he is and have the demon still remain in place. It's going to be interesting to see his character develop based on the answers he comes up with to these questions. Whilst I would like to see more of this old man in the story, I think having him pop in and out is a decent enough choice, since his presence always adds to the story, world building, or at least progressing the story in some way. For the amazing looking environments they have these two traverse. Also, not walking on the spot. I really want to say it. I think I'm gonna say it.
お頼み申します。
Another unique pair of monsters! On a serious note though, oh my god, they look insanely creepy.
我が里のうちで人が食い殺されるのをみすみす眺めても折れぬのでな。
Yup, I knew something was weird about this dude as soon as I laid eyes on him. Get it? Bad joke, but yeah, he's creepy as hell. Take a win and get him away from me. Overhead beauty scenery shots that almost always get a winnie win-win.
住職は近隣の里から身寄りのない子供をもらい受けておった。そうして何年かすると売り飛ばされてしまうのだ。
To the demons who would then eat their brains? Wait, wrong anime. On a serious note though, I love how Dororo rarely strays too far from its dark roots. Sometimes we drift away for a little bit, but it always pulls us back to the next darker story. God damn, it's so sweet that Dororo just moved her bed closer to his.
仕方ねえじゃねえかい。おいらずっと一人ぼっちだったんだから。どうして死んじゃったんだよ、おっかちゃん。
Oh. Thank goodness he did away with it. Ew!
久々の餌、それも2つもじゃ。
Plot twist! Well, even though the animation quality clearly took an odd turn during episode 15, its usual world building is still on point, carefully constructing the area they find themselves in with interesting tidbits, which is this anime's forte. Just a shame the former kind of restricts a lot of what I'd usually enjoy pointing out.
そういえばさ、この村に来る途中に焼けた寺を見たんだけど。
さあ行くよ。
Oh, I like me some stuff like that. People keeping a secret in check or something. That's pretty cool. One of the only times I've been glad to see some CGI at play in this anime. Thank goodness I still got a chance to say lovely scenery shot, take a win, because I didn't think it was going to happen in this weird ass episode.
これって秘密の扉かな。
I like mysteries. Let's dig into this. I guess this kind of leads to an interesting dilemma when it comes to sacrifice for the greater good, or perhaps what's at least perceived as being the greater good. Much like his father giving up his firstborn's body to demons, this guy no doubt had to make a similar promise in exchange for prosperity. Ooh, learning the truth about what happened to the nun and the children and the fire. Feels good to be able to praise some genuinely good-looking animation in this episode. Did my boy just get a spine back or something? Ah yes, they nicely brought this episode full circle in terms of character building, as we find the immediate answer to the moral question posed at the start is a yes. In the eyes of our main character, he believes his actions are justified if it means the demons are killed and he gets his body back, but that as a result of that, the people will suffer. What's making it more interesting though is that Dororo seems to feel differently, but perhaps her feelings would be better felt had she not caused the fire damage that led to basically everything going to hell.
相変わらずチビだな。
うるせえ。
Ooh, it's interesting seeing this asshat re-enter the story now at this point.
ちくしょう。
ま、死んだもんより生きてるもんだ。情じゃ金は手に入らねえ。
It's weird that the animation quality seems to have largely returned to normal. I would hazard a guess that another lead animator was for some reason put in charge of episode 15 and perhaps his vision was just massively different to every other episode prior. But either way, it's good to see it back to normal. Once again, I'm getting hit by those Witcher 3 vibes as we see what appears to be an abandoned village, no doubt attacked by monsters or raiders at some point in time. Dark, 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 whoa!
イタチ。
他に船はねえ。変な真似しやがったらその場で切り殺しゃいい。
It feels weird, but oddly not too weird, that it's almost as though these two have now teamed up. Like I stupidly find myself enjoying the dynamic. What the hell?
ただのサメじゃねえ。
Can't show it, but the damn sharks are eating people!
助けはまだか。頭。
Them giving us a flashback sequence even for this dude is just crazy but massively appreciated, as it also gives us a greater understanding of the war going on and its effects.
こんなことならおめえのおっかちゃんの墓を暴くんじゃなかったぜ。悪かったな、ドロロ。
Alright, this was an oddly sweet moment as he realizes now the things he did were wrong and wishes that he could undo them, including this apology.
辛いことや苦しいこと、死んじまいそうになったことだって山ほどあった。それでもな、おいら一回だって弱音なんか吐かなかった。
Dororo's epic speech about refusing to give up in her past and rallying these former samurai to do the same in order to pull through their dire situation is just great. Also, take one more for showing us a great deal about Dororo's current character in that she is now helping these men who kidnapped her, including their boss who essentially ruined her parents' lives.
野党なら最後の最後まで往生際悪くあがいて見せやがれってんだ。
Oh man, that was a fantastic moment to do that.
そうすりゃ倒せるはずだ。頼んだぞ。
Dororo proving herself to be absolutely beyond brave right here.
ドロロ、あいつ無茶しやがって。
Them showing concern for her as well as a very nice development, instead of seeing her merely as a tool to be used to get out of the predicament. Defeating Sharky-san.
もういいだろ。これ以上は死んじまうよ。
Even though I feel it's misguided, it's still good to see Dororo not wishing there to be senseless violence.
タッチ。
あったよ。
And one extra for him actually listening to her as well. I like that.
背中を火に当てろ。
やめろ。
I mean, this for me took a really disappointing turn, I guess. It feels like Dororo's building relationship all just came crashing down in the end regardless. I suppose the only saving grace to mention outside of character development is that the anime stays true to its dark roots of greed fueling these men, even after having survived purely due to Dororo's actions. At least now I have absolutely zero sympathy for any of them, so the sharks can gobble them all up.
あんた何のつもりか知らんが、どうせなら生きているもんにやってやっちゃどうだい。
Getting to see old Uvo dude reappear in this anime. Well, that was weird how it ignored the old man. I doubt it's because he's doing good work in the world either. Maybe more to do with that it's not his time to die just yet or something? Interesting prospect all the same. Employing some of that JoJo type editing that I love so much on this channel.
お前はなんと。
Ah, he's rubbing his forehead on him and smiling, and oh my goodness, I'm bloody melting on my insides.
笑えるのだなお前。わしの声も聞こえるのか。
聞こえる。
Getting to see this guy's reaction to all of his new body parts is just as good as Dororo's over the entire season so far.
大丈夫。熱いのはわかる。冷たいのも全部わかる。
Him still trying to look out for what is essentially his son by blowing onto the hot rice is beyond totes adorbs to me.
私はどこまでも甘い。
All of this time later and it's still causing his mother endless pain, and I'm glad they keep showing us this.
急ぐ用があるゆえ、戻ったらお目にかかる。
Meanwhile, his new arc seems to have begun as he sets off dealing with his affliction, having become cold to those around him.
なんと重い。お前を拾い生かしたのは。
Shut up! You're crying!
できぬ。新しい足はやれぬ。
なぜ？
お前はまた鬼神との戦いに行くだろう。
Oh, hot damn, this just became quite tense as he refuses to help now, having fully understood the situation with his father and the Demon Pact. It's going to be very interesting to see how he deals with his refusal and how the entire situation unfolds, as this will no doubt kickstart his own next character arc.
あの様子。お前が殺めてきたのはあやかしだけではあるまい。
Originally, I was going to sim him assuming he's killed humans based on killing a ghoul, but then I remembered how violently he slashed that thing to death. It wasn't like his normal, old, efficient kills. They also took the time to show us one strike that purely went through the beast's mouth. Obviously not going to kill it, but cause it pain? Absolutely. Man, I'm overjoyed that he didn't attack him for the leg or something. That's what I mentioned just now and was worried about, since he seems to have grown cold and distant of late. Kind of ironic and perhaps symbolic that the more human he literally becomes by regaining his body parts, the more inhumane he's becoming via his actions. If I hit the nail on the head there, I'm so happy for me. Let me know down below your thoughts though.
首なしの菩薩像を覚えておられましょう。
ああ、常日頃拝んでおった。
Just throwing this out there, but what if his head was saved from the demons by this statue? Perhaps by his mother's love and prayer to it? That would be nuts!
殿、百鬼丸が生きていたはあの菩薩像が身代わりとして鬼神に食われたためにございます。
Oh my god, I'm a genius! Trapping these two in here for some sweet, sweet character progression. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Thank God it was only episode 15 that suffered from a drop in animation quality. I'd have hated missing out on stuff like this.
それは義手や義足よりも重い。その時お前は人であり得るのか。
The writers here do a fantastic job of posing an excellently put forward ethical question, one worded far better than I ever could. The only shame is the background is our main boy slaughtering samurai, so can't really show most of it.
わしはあの哀れな赤ん坊を救ったつもりで再び修羅の川に流しただけだ。
Oh man, don't talk like that!
わしは何者でもない。
知ってる。これが何というものか。おっかちゃんだ。
Oh, god damn. They can take two right here. The way they deal with the emotional scenes between these two absolutely wrecks my heart.
そうか。これまでお前たちには。
I don't really get it, but he had better not die now of infection or something. Oh, by the way, I just found out that his father is Nobunaga from Hunter x Hunter and is, as such, obviously worthy of a win by default.
それに比べて本当につまらない。人間なんて。
Oh, Dororo, check you out giving us backstory for this guy from that episode. I love you, Dororo. Love your face and stuff.
お前たちの前じゃ。
Jaja! By the way, that's my replacement this time for my another new monster da comment. Our boy arriving just in time to defend his best friend Dororo from this shark thing. The old duo getting back together again. I have no idea why, but I find that so damn adorable. There we have it, ladies and gents. The other leg is back. I think what I love most is that we've actually had very few body parts getting returned in the past few episodes, so it means a bit more when it does happen. Oh, now this just became a very interesting dynamic as three groups all converge onto this cape all at the same time.
大鳥とバレたらすぐに戻ってくる。今のうちに浜へ出るぞ。
I gotta say I'm shocked that Dororo is once again teaming up with him and his crew since it ended in a pretty awful way last time, but once again I guess this is an element of her personality they're trying to drive across to us. She's about as forgiving as it gets, really. Hot diggity, even 3-on-1 they're still having a tough time against him. Oh, now come on, that was lovely looking! For the death of this guy, one I'm not upset about in all honesty, but at the very least he saved Dororo by dragging her away during the heat of the battle just now and also took down a samurai before he died. That's worthy of a win, I guess. Alright, fair play to the guy, he saved Dororo a second time. I guess that does require props. So close and yet so far at the very end. Quite poetic of an ending to his story, I suppose. Forever chasing glory and money and in the end dying with none of it, but it all being right in front of him. No one can argue that Dororo isn't a good kid. Very little hate in that heart of hers considering everything she's been through. This is probably the most gorgeous looking shot of the entire anime so far. Wow. It might be weird, but the horsey likes it and I love it, so whatever. The fact that in the background he was about to start rubbing his forehead on this dude. How can you not love that? Well, you know what? That is clearly another one-of-a-kind creature die.
兄貴どうした？
Okay, well, this episode just got very interesting, and once again, like I said a lot during the first half, this sometimes does often remind me a lot of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Also take one extra, because in terms of new location world building, Dororo handles it excellently yet again with this new village, learning where the weapons master lives, and now heading up to their nearby temple, and even learning about their gods of blacksmithing. Every place they go, they try and breathe life into it with small details, and I adore that about this anime.
ついていく覚悟はもうできた。バカ！ただの旅じゃねえんだ。兄貴と旅できるのなんてオイラくらいなの。
Not a lot else to say about this, is there? It's just funny. It's genuinely nice, though, to get an episode with some comedic relief in it for once, kind of giving us a short break from all of the death and darkness.
もう一緒じゃなくていい。
This absolutely killer reaction! I feel dumb that it took me so long to get it, but I like that reveal that it was the demon. Originally, I thought it was the girl.
Dororo.
Yay! Everything is back to normal between these two. I like it that way.
今までずっと思ってたことを素直に言えなかった。この仏頂面なんかより絶対お前を幸せにしてやる。
That's made me kind of sad that this poor girl thought everyone was just being endlessly mean to her every damn day, bless her heart.
おこわが嬉しそうだ。刀が俺が嬉しそうだ。
Even though the episode leaned a little too heavily into comedy for my liking, it's nice that they keep touching on the main things said during the episode, except that now they really mean what they say.
二人が嬉しそうだ。
A really genuinely sweet and wholesome ending, one of those rare instances we get blessed with every now and then. Super glad to be kicking off episode 20 with a very dark prospect, that the lands are becoming grim due to our main boy San regaining his body one piece at a time.
国境にある土地ほど被害はひどく、徐々に領内に広がっているようです。
Learning that the misfortune appears to be spreading first among those settlements along the border to their prosperous land. It's going to be extremely interesting to see how this develops, as no doubt it will begin to spread inland and then hit the city and then finally his father's residence, if I had to guess. Also, I'm enjoying how we're finally starting to see this misfortune for ourselves, having spent all 19 episodes seeing this land rich and its people healthy. Back then, the notion of him getting his body back didn't mean much, but now we're faced with seeing the victims of him regaining his body. It's putting the moral question further into our minds, and very vividly as well. This beautiful scenery shot, clearly all hand-drawn and then hand-animated with Dororo plodding about.
ドロロの分。
兄貴がオイラに食い物を。
I'm so happy that the dynamic between these two has always been such a constant during the course of the anime. It frequently leads to lovely moments like these.
そう、身構えんなって。俺もな、バケモンを殺しに来たんだ。
I like this dude. He's got big old scars on his chest. I dig that, like in RPGs and stuff. Oh my god.
何やってんだよあんた。
少しはやるみてえだな。
Say it with me now. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, plot twist! That's music. Definitely gonna need to learn what track that is. Help me out, boys and lack of gals.
菩薩像が砕けた今、殿との約定は破れました。
Definitely also adding this one to that need to have songs list. Well, this most definitely just became unexpectedly intense.
次だ。次のやつを連れてくる。あるいは、俺を食らうか？
Finally, his character does something I find interesting, because up till now I thought he's got a really dumb reason for feeding passers-by to the demon, but now him pondering whether or not to feed himself to it does make him more intriguing, I'll admit. Adding blood onto the stone and his forehead after they collided. The sheer panic in his voice as he fears losing his closest friend and ally is beyond superb. Then then this came along right after I finished writing and was even better than the last damn instance. Him even trying to break the rock with his head shows his utter determination.
ちょっくらどいてくんな。
The old man once again returning to the story and coming to the rescue at the same time. Main boy Sam, for the very first time ever, I believe, taking on a demon for the sole purpose of getting revenge for his friend, rather than doing it for his goal of getting back his body. He seems incredibly angry that their actions almost cost him his friend's life, and that, my friends, is some next level character building as we come into the final few episodes. Can't show it, but Jesus, in the flashback we just found out that during a desperate slash of his sword behind himself without looking, he actually cut off his mother's hand who had grabbed onto him for help. That is damn dark, and it's what I love about Dororo as an anime. Oh dear lord.
やめてくれよ兄貴。
俺の体だ。
こんなのひどすぎるよ。
Well, perhaps he wasn't doing it all for Dororo, or maybe that's how it started, but it ended with him wanting back another body part. I just wonder why it hasn't worked, and also what the guy meant by "you're not human." That's beautiful. I like this horse's style. I was wondering when we might be finally blessed with some precious flashback for these two, and it turns out the answer was episode 21.
兄貴。
邪魔するな。
One of the first demonstrations of how cold-hearted he's become on his path to recover his body no matter what stands in his way, even if it's the obliteration of a nation.
俺の手で触る。俺の目で見る。俺も感じる。ドロロと同じに。
And then you get moments like these where he seems largely the same and gets across his argument extremely well in such a way that you feel you can't really argue against it.
よくぞ生き抜いた。もう大丈夫だ。
That is just one of the darkest things I've ever seen in an anime. Even more so, I believe, than Berserk 1997. Jesus Christ, they can take two extremely rare wins for this. Man. How stunning this shot looks. Check it out, slowed right down in all its glory. The next 65 seconds are so stunning it's unbelievable. Dororo has featured some good looking battles during its last 20 episodes, but put frankly, nothing has even come remotely close to this battle. It's clean, it's crisp, it's smooth and choreographed beautifully. Take another rare 2 wins for this. This is one of those few moments where I forget it's an anime and actually wince because it feels like a real sword going incredibly close to a real eyeball. Yay! I don't know how, but Mr. Horsey-san III survived.
あんたみたいな素人はとっとと逃げ出すのが一番だよ。俺はまあがっぽり稼がせてもらうけどな。
My man Uvo has made his way into their land as well. This is going to make for one hell of a showdown, I imagine, as Dororo and Uvo attempt to pull main boy Sam back from despair and into the light whilst he wrestles with literal demons and his family members. This is going to be an action-packed final 3 episodes, I predict. Getting to see him reacting like this more and more when it comes to his friend is completely thrilling. I love how for so long he couldn't speak, then he would barely speak, then he'd speak a word or two per episode, and now he's fully putting his emotions behind his words. I love it. That must have taken an age to draw.
医者に聞けばわかるだろう。
Gotta love how they don't just cut the scene and then have him talking to the doctor, but instead give us a zoom out shot, showing how we're now in a new but close by area of the camp.
報いるぞ。必ず。そなたが命を懸けて守ろうとしたすべて。
Then after hugely pushing us, the viewer, into main boy San's camp in terms of, yeah, we just want him to get his body back, I'm left feeling kinda torn after a scene like this. In the end of the day, ultimately what was done to him was wrong. But is it wrong if so many people benefit, including many innocents? These two aides lived through a horrific war and being captured, living with literal death all around them until they were rescued, and since then have witnessed huge prosperity under the pact with the demons. Thus his notion of wanting to avenge her so that her sacrifice doesn't go in vain is to be respected, as she's essentially fighting to see her lord one day rise to power and to rule the realm peacefully and richly. The moral dilemma gets more interesting the closer we get to the end.
Okka-chan. 兄貴のおっかちゃん。
Ooh, say it with me! Plot twist! It's great that they tell us that she ran out there attempting to find her son after giving birth.
やめろってんだ。
やれやれ、目覚めた途端に賑やかな。
For what may perhaps be the final return of the old man in this anime, take one more win. Demon Horse and main boy combo of Doom, plus the next action sequences are pretty sweet. Can't show it though, with all the flying feet. That rhymed.
約定を果たし、第五の国を永劫守るために。
One last win for finding out the revelation that both his arms and his eyes have been given to these three to now use in a battle against him. This reaction. Oh, Mama Horse recognized its baby despite being in such pain from being ripped away from it and then killed at war by the people who took it. Oh no, I don't like stuff like this. Not showing it, but his missing limbs are straight up doing some crazy stuff attached to those two dead people. Oh god, that's me done.
若が行くなら地獄にだってついていく。
For the death of his two closest friends, rest in peace. My boy's arms returning! His brother not doing the typical anime thing and waiting to attack, but instead doing so right away whilst he's somewhat vulnerable. Beautiful action sequence is absolutely stunning. Likewise, how the spread of misfortune from the broken demon pact is circling inwards, we're now seeing everyone important in the story also appearing in the centre. His mother, Dororo, himself, his brother, his father figure, the priest. I like very much how they're bringing this anime to its conclusion in such a poetic manner.
お前ら、今度はお前らが兄貴を食い物にする気かよ。
Dororo still fighting for her big bro shows us so much about her character. She's actually been one of the constants in this anime. She's had her character arc explored but has remained largely the same, but in a good way.
兄貴みたいに自分の手で地べた這いつくばったって掴まなきゃいけねえんだ。
Just had a thought, but I can see Dororo offering up her father's money to change this country into one that is prosperous under its own rule instead of being under the protection of demons. That would be a tight ending.
そいつがしっかりしてりゃ鬼になんかならねえ。
そうだ。もう武士にも戦にもオロオロするのはこりごりだ。
How they show off Dororo's speeches all the time, which moves the hearts of others in such a way that her father did before her. Yet more stunning sword action between these two. They clearly took loads of time to make this look as good and as smooth as possible to make for a great finale.
行かねばなりませぬ。あそこで戦っているのは私の息子たちならば。
百鬼丸。
兄貴、おいらちょっとだけ何か見えたかもしれねえ。
Going further on what I said before, now everyone that is important to the story appears to be approaching the place of main boy San's birth, further bringing the circle Taito to its final conclusion. Yet more final action scenes!
母上は
坊や。
お前はいた。ここにずっと。
ああ、貴様とは違う。
ならなぜ足りない。
showing us a final time how much his mother's distance affected him over the years as she longed for her firstborn son. This gorgeous visual as he's pushed back to the edge whilst defending and then falls through the roof below.
百鬼丸の母上か。親子とは似るものだ。
Just about the gosh darn sweetest dude you're ever likely to meet. Okay, to save us time at the end, let's drop 2 wins for the action, then if something really outstanding occurs I'll add an extra 1 or 2, but this should cover us.
なぜ外した。今の人たちなぜ。
わからない。ただ同じだ。お前も。
Him sparing his life after getting those visions was just a very intense moment. It's like he leaned into his human side, breaking away from the incessant need to regain his entire body. The demon taking control over him is an epic last-minute short twist. Oh wow, please tell me that it's going to be as simple as that, because honestly that'd make for an amazing ending if they could ultimately both end up living. Just knowing Dororo, I doubt that's going to be the case. Oh my god, I friggin' love this dude!
百鬼丸。坊や。
Him finally being 100% whole in the very place he was born and had everything taken away from him. Man, we've come such a long way. Feels like we've been through so much, like genuinely. Him getting the chance to actually see his mother's face and his true father.
でもこれからはずっと母はあなたのそばにおりますよ。
This lovely, peaceful final moment between his mother and her other son.
綺麗。空綺麗だ。ドロロ綺麗だ。
Him getting to see the sky and to Dororo's face for the first time.
鬼神が人を欲しいというならまた食わせるまで。知れたこと。武将と生まれたからには天下取りに勝る望みなどない。
I suppose finally 24 episodes later we got our definitive answer that his father purely wants to rule. It's not really about the people, their happiness and their prosperity. Ah, yes, they showed us. I'm really glad he didn't take his father's life. He's already got himself on a much greater path by doing that.
人として生きろ。
This first-person view, and they even put his helmet into the view, those legends.
お前がこの国を継いでいたら、わしが望んだ第五の繁栄を。
If I shout out the last win, I can't not shout out the blood in his eyes view as well.
百鬼丸。鬼神が欲するほどの、お前のその生きる力の中に。
His father thinking to himself the first genuinely nice thought about his firstborn son and then weeping afterwards as he realizes everything that has happened is because he was wrong. Not because he's infallible and all-knowing, but because he made a mistake all that way back then. That's a beautiful moment right there.
だが、ビワマルは思う。彼らの行く手に広がるのは、決して血だまりだけではないと。
Perhaps a setup for another season? Older Dororo! A genuinely lovely ending with just almost everything I'd have wanted to have happened, including the change in the ED where the visions become less blurred, referring to his returned eyesight, I'm guessing. Well, there you have it, guys, and lack of gals, 24 episodes covered on both channels. I loved this anime. It was dark and brutal, but it also contained light, humour, friendship, and genuinely wholesome moments. I give it a solid 9 out of 10 on my anime list. If you guys want, you can check out the Sins version on my main channel. You can also hit me up on Twitter @TheHonestGamer, join our Discord server to chat with me and other fans of the channels, and lastly, if you want to keep me on the platform, feel free to make a pledge in exchange for various rewards over on my Patreon. The links for everything is down below, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Nathan Burr, The Ortho, Josiah May, Bird Without a Word, Arias Alibari, PK Fan, Chef Kilo, Tyler Powers, Loritz, Chris Harris, Fluffy Starlight, Yolna Stahl, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Manuel Mireles, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Sentimento, Silva, Morgan Vargas, Master Tank, Brendan Krier, Kyle Farmer, Theodore Quackens, Kaj Vorzelmer, Jordan Samuels, Gabby Z.